Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Worthy, Worth It, and Priceless. I am your host, Tammy Simmons. And in this episode, I wanted to slow down just a little bit because I know I said the next episode was going to be um, basically survivors, now what, and giving you guys encouragement on that tip. But I realized that I wanted to kind of slow down just a little bit because. Um, there's things and emotions that come up that nobody really kind of talks about. And I wanted to let you know that you're not failing if this may be a setback for you. So just say you survive whatever situation that you're going through or you went through. And the next thing you know, you don't really know what to do, and there may be a part of you that makes you want to go back to what is familiar. Or you might reminisce or think back onto everything that you went through, and you're like, you know what? It probably really wasn't that bad, or things like that. Now, this may not be for everybody. I totally understand. But for the ones that it is for, it is definitely for you. And I just wanted to let you know that you're human. That is what happens sometimes, especially if you've been in a situation for a very long time. And next thing you know, you're like, man, he or she wasn't really that bad. We did have fun together. And the thing about it is sometimes like you enjoy their company, but you don't enjoy what comes with it. And so sometimes when you're going back and you're reminiscing, you're thinking about the good times or you're thinking about what you have um what you missed, and maybe if I did it this way, then maybe we could have been this, and if maybe I, you know what I mean. And sometimes even with that, it becomes the blame game, and you only see it in your way. And I understand because basically you are you. And so at the end of the day, like all you could think about is what you could have done. Just think about if you're playing a video game and you lose this round. And what do you think? You automatically strategize and like, you know what, if I would have did this, this could have happened. But the perspective I want to give you as well is that you're not the only person in that relationship. You were not the only person in that relationship. So even if you did everything that the person said or whatever, it still could have been that same outcome because it's the point that God did not ordain for you guys to be together. It's like he allowed it. But the thing about it is a possibility that you guys weren't meant to be. And even if some people, spin the block and you come back, it's the point that maybe at that time it wasn't right. And I don't want you to basically sit there and be like, man, I messed up, or, start beating yourself up, or even thinking that, maybe that is where you need to be. It is easy to want to go back to what is familiar. It is easy. Um, I'm just saying, like, as a thought. It is easy as a thought to want to go back because at the end of the day, you're looking at your situation, or you may be looking at your situation and you're like, I don't like this. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it is, regardless if a situation isn't, it could be toxic or whatever, it's something that I know this sucks, but it's something that you were used to. You know what I mean? Like you know what is going to happen. You know that person is going to do this. You know they're going to do that. But at the end of the day, they may come home. You know what I mean? And now you're living in uncertainty. I remember when I was going through therapy, and I was like, I didn't want this. You know what I mean? I didn't want this. And like in therapy, they're like, what is this? And I was like, this uncertainty. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this is what I was trying to avoid. This is why I stayed. I don't like this. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't like the whole point of not knowing what is next. And, the healing process sucks. You know what I mean? It is healing, but there's a process. There is the thing about you having to look at yourself and you're like, really deal with your own voice and deal with yourself. And I know like a lot of people like, you know what? If you can't deal with yourself, how you expect somebody else to deal with you? But it's like that's the whole point of why I was in a relationship. Like you know what I mean? Like, but no, to be in all honesty. But sometimes with those voices, that makes us want to run back. But the thing about it is I want you to remember why you wanted to leave. You know, there is a reason why you didn't want to stay. You're going to need that when in the middle of the night, um, there's those voices that's saying, you know what, you should just call him or her. And you know what, they were right. I can't make it without them. And I want to tell you that that's not true. Before you knew them, you were good. And you're going to be fine without them. It's just going to take a process. And the thing about it is, the more that you do other things, the more you won't need them as much. You won't even think about them as much. When you start dating and loving on yourself, and I know that may seem cliche, but if you need company, realize that you are your own company. You can start learning yourself. You can start taking care of yourself. The things that you would have done for that other person, start doing those things for yourself. Start listening to your own voice. Start taking out the time for yourself. You are an awesome person. Now is the time to get to know them. Because I realize as I'm older, now that I don't have the noise, of other people around telling me this and wanting me to do that, and I don't have the people pleasing and all of that. And now I can focus outside of my daughter, but now I can focus on Tammy. Who is Tammy? Because if you really think about it, and I know I'll get through this or to this in another episode, but you think about it, your whole life, there's somebody else telling you what to do. You know what I mean? As you're a child, you can't go places that you probably really want to go. You have to go everywhere where your parents go. And in a way, you don't really have a voice or say so until you get kind of older and all of that. And then if you date, as soon as you're out of high school or college or whatever, you know what I mean? Now you're conformed or whatever, you're connected or attached to this person. So now you have to do everything, you know what I mean? So if you're, and the reason why I say this, because I know a lot of my audience is 35 and up, and you're basically restarting or rebuilding your life. And so now this is probably the first time in your life where you don't have anybody telling you what to do. And you don't have all those outside voices. And now you can actually just focus on yourself. And once you start focusing on yourself, dating yourself and seeing, hey, I like this or I really don't like this, the world becomes much bigger and it becomes much brighter. And you can actually breathe finally, you know? And I can say that because this is what's basically happening for me. I can finally breathe without somebody saying, "Oh, you should do this or you should do this." And Why are you doing this? And all of that. Now I don't have that noise. But the other thing, because it's like before, because it just came in my mind, you have to be careful as well that you do not take on the voice of your past. Those voices that once said that you couldn't do it. Why are you talking? Why are you doing this? You have to be careful not to be that voice for yourself. And I know I can feel somebody even asking, how do you do that? You take it one step at a time because it happened to me. And I had to confront those voices. I had to see where did that come from? Why did I feel this way every time I wanted to make a decision? I couldn't fully make the decision or I couldn't fully do it. And it was because every time I tried to do something, somebody always had something negative to say. And if I didn't believe in myself, depending on what the situation was, it was easy to go back to that voice. And then all of a sudden, I'm being that same voice and I'm being my own critic now. And so, what you have to do when you see that, you have to recognize it and you have to stop it at that moment. No, that is not me. That is such and such voice. We are going to do this. We are capable. I am capable of doing this. I am capable of stepping forward. And now every day you may not feel that way, and that's totally fine. But you owe it to yourself to at least try. Every day, try. It's not going to be easy. And I know everyone says that it's not easy, but you can do it. You're still here for a reason. And you may think you're not strong enough. You are strong enough. You left. And even if you don't even have to do it by your own strength now. God is helping you and He is walking with you. If you can't do it, just say, God, help me. I'm going to tell you something before I let you guys go. But my daughter, um, we were driving somewhere and I was just backing up or something. And I was talking to her because she kind of got upset um, because she wanted something. I think either something fell in the back or something. But either way, I knew that it was just like a hostile situation in the car. And I said, Vea, just say, when you are afraid, I said, just say, help me, Jesus. Or just say, Jesus. You know? And so when I was backing up, and we were coming home and all I could hear in the back, and I trust me, I am not a bad driver. But as we were backing up, as I was backing up the car, all I could hear in the background was my daughter. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. Or help me, Jesus. Help me, Jesus. I'm like, girl, you know what I mean? But that is the thing. You have help. God is with you every step of the way. You just have to call on Him. And I know it might sound scary and everything, but realize that you have a present help. He was there with you the whole time you were going through and everything. You were crying and praying to Him, like, Lord, please get me out. Okay, so now that He has gotten you out, He's still that same God that's going to help you. He hasn't forgotten you because you're on the other side. He's with you the entire time. So you got this. I love you guys so much. I am so proud of you, everything that you've been through. You've made it through. And if you haven't made it through, if you're on your way, every day is a new day to change. Always know you have worth, you have value, and no one can take it from you. You are always worthy, worth it, and priceless.